Dr. Theophilus, a question about John the Baptist. You know that John the Baptist was a centralized person in the life of Jesus Christ and in the plan of God for salvation. And we can see this from the angel Gabriel when he came to Mary and told her about Elizabeth, that she is also pregnant with a son, and the visit of Mary to Elizabeth and how the son leapt in her womb and became full of the Holy Spirit. And the question is, if the Holy Spirit came on John the Baptist as a fetus in the womb of his mom at this point and stayed with him all along his life, the mic is yours.
I believe that like all the prophets of old, when they were called, they received the Holy Spirit. Jeremiah, you'll recall, was called when he was just a very young man. And God said, I have known you from the time of your conception. And so, yes, I think the Spirit stayed with John all his life and didn't just come upon him at some later time. I think that's also true of Jesus, though it's not said. But I think the Spirit was upon Jesus from his birth on. At the same time, there seemed to be an empowerment that came upon Jesus at the time of his baptism, because he did none of the mighty works that we know of until after his baptism. But immediately after his baptism and the testimony of the Father, then he went out into the wilderness, was tempted. Coming back from the wilderness, he immediately commenced doing one miracle after another. So I think since John the Baptist, as you said, was a very special person, he was prophesied in the Old Testament as the Elijah who was to come, as the voice of one crying in the wilderness. And yes, I think he had the Holy Spirit not only from his mother's womb, but throughout his growing years. This doesn't mean that he knew everything instantly and totally. Just as I think God gives his Spirit today to little children, in some cases at least. I personally was baptized shortly after birth, and I cannot remember any time in my life when I did not believe, and I also took seriously the things that I heard and learned. But at the same time, I had to grow in my knowledge, in my understanding, in my devotion, and in every other way. And it is even said of Jesus that he grew in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. So just because the Spirit is there doesn't mean that a person has full knowledge of everything from the moment that the Spirit comes on. I hope this answers your question.